We're the Screen Team. We are back right here on KWOC, and we are doing superhero films with our friend Scully, and we decided to switch it up a little bit. If you are watching Scully right now on our YouTube channel, he is all decked out in DC. He's got everything. He's got Superman. He's got Batman. He's got the Green Lantern ring, for crying out loud. But for this next review...
Better turn the hat around, huh?
We're going Marvel. We are going Marvel with this next review, and we are doing what a lot of people say is one of the greatest superhero films of all time, Spider-Man 2. Now, this next comment I'm going to say probably is going to get me beat up by a lot of people, people who are watching, people who are listening right now. This isn't one of my favorite films.
Oh,
what?
Oh,
I know. Scully. Tell me, why am I wrong? Why is Spider-Man 2, why is it so good? Because it's not just you. Critically, people love this movie. Audience love this movie. But for some reason, Chris Berger did not love this movie.
We'll get into that. I'd like to hear your opinions. Well, I mean, just I'm not going to say hands down is the best. What I'm going to say is that it's hard to find a flaw with this interpretation of a Spider-Man story. I'm not even a Tobey Maguire fan as Peter Parker. I'm not a big fan of him, but this movie works on every level. Let me say first and foremost, the subway fight scene. I mean, they're fighting on and in the train.
Yeah.
So well done. So well done, which is one of Sam Raimi's strengths when directing a movie. But it was more than that. It's those type of graphics and how well everything flows from, let me say that I get really frustrated when somebody doesn't give a movie a chance. I can still tell that's CG. I'm done with it. That's frustrating because you're passing up on a great movie that wasn't even there before. Nobody even made a movie like this before. Now you're able to watch one. Now, when the effects look so cheesy that you just can't get past it, I can understand that. But we're talking about Spider-Man 2. Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man are literally fighting through this whole movie, and the movements are so fluid and going back and forth from CG to reality is almost seamless. Yeah. And it's a wonderful telling. The whole movie makes sense beginning to end. You have Doc Ock's motivations make complete sense. We're not into Spider-Man 3 yet, so Harry Osborn's just on that verge of hatred that he's trying to balance between keeping himself as a straight businessman and falling victim to his
what his dad went through.
Yeah, the darkness in him. And the only thing I can say that I don't like about this movie is the same thing I don't like about the entire trilogy is Kirsten Dunst. She's not a bad actress.
Yeah.
But I swear the Mary Jane character brings down literally every scene she's in every one of those movies.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. She's either crying, griping at Peter, or something's going on. So she tends to bring down the movies. But her inclusion in this and Doc Ock and everything, how that all comes together and they all interact is fantastic. I just don't see anything wrong with this movie. But tell me what I'm missing.
Well, you're not missing. I mean, apparently I'm the problem because you and everybody else in America and the world love this movie. So, and I want to stress that I don't hate this movie. This movie is just to me. It's blah to me. I guess Tobey Maguire is one issue. I don't hate Tobey Maguire, but when I see him, I don't see him as Spider-Man. I don't see him as Peter Parker. I see Tobey Maguire.
He's a bland sort of guy. Yeah.
And when I see Tom Holland, I see Spider-Man. I see Peter Parker. He's fun. He's exciting. That's the character that I've always wanted a movie version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man to be. So seeing Tobey Maguire, that's a little bit of a put off to me. Some of the CG in this movie, I have a hard time, I don't want to say believing, but it definitely, when you're watching it, you're like, oh,
You're
it's
one
CG.
of the guys.
I'm one of the guys.
One of the guys.
I know. When you said that statement, I was like, oh man, I'm in for some heat right now. I guess, I don't know, man. This movie just didn't do it for me. I don't hate it, but I don't put it on. I'm not like, hey, let's put on Spider-Man 2, guys.
Wow, really? Here's the funny thing. When I go to put on a superhero movie, it'll be really hard for me to not choose this or the Wolverine, because the first things that come to me are those train fight scenes. It is insane. I love those things, man. Love them.
Well, that's why we've got different tastes.
I hold nothing against you, my friend.
I appreciate that. And hopefully you don't, hold anything against me either, because everybody loves Spider-Man 2 for sure. Scully, before we leave this session of the Screen Team, remind folks where they can check out some of your stuff, especially that new movie coming out. Where can people check it out?
Sure. If you want to keep up on the new one, which is my biggest project to date, Interview a Monster, you can go to interviewamonster.com. You can follow him on Facebook. You can see any projects I'm doing if you're following me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm trying to post and keep you up to date as much as I can. There's a lot of things that have transpired in the last 2 weeks. I'm talking to like 3 different production companies about different projects. I'm already signed on to a couple different projects, and we're already working on we'll be filming one next week, actually. I'm teaming up with with a director and one of my co-stars from the award-winning movie 4 a.m. that we did in 2016.
Great.
To tell a whole new, crazy, bizarre kind of story, but my character in it, I'm really, really having fun with. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
It's called Abducted Anonymous, coming up.
Awesome, man. Scully, dude, I appreciate you being on the show, and dude, we want you back many, many times.
I want to be back. I love this. Absolutely.
All right. He's Scully. I'm Chris. We are part of the Screen Team. Remember, you can check out our reviews. They're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can also check out our official website at screenteampb.com. For Scully and Chris, we are the Screen Team, and remember, we want you to know before you go.